This video is kindly sponsored by Thrive Market. Hey guys, it's Maggie and I am back today, and today we're going to talk about breastfeeding because we are almost at the 3-month mark, which is absolutely insane. You might see some dancing feet here. I do have Nova next to me. Normally I would try to film this video with her napping, or Zach would have her, but he's in the office, so it's just the two of us. And I'm talking about feeding you, so I feel like at least your feet should make an appearance. You'll see him kicking because she's dancing away. And you've got the hiccups too. But that's perfect. Every time I breastfeed you, you get hiccups, so it works out. Breastfeeding has been so much more complicated than I ever thought it would be. At the same time, I really feel like I was imagining the worst outcome, like I wouldn't be able to do it, I wouldn't produce enough milk, she wouldn't latch, a number of problems I was picturing for myself, and that hasn't been the case. So it really just has been a back and forth, feeling like we're doing so well, but also feeling like we're completely failing. And I think that's probably common as a new mom, first-time mom. You really just want to ensure that your baby's getting enough, that they're comfortable, they're content, they're not hungry all the time, and that they're growing. And that's definitely started to seep in. That first month, things went beautifully. I feel like it went so well. There were very few issues, and then some bumps started to pop up. So I want to talk about that. I want to be honest about some of the issues we've been having, and just talk all about breastfeeding. Like, how cool is it we've made it to 3 months? And we're going strong, right? We're going to keep working hard at it. Before I get into it though, I do want to thank today's sponsor, which is Thrive Market. They have been fantastic in this breastfeeding journey because I eat a lot. Thrive Market is having their back to school sale, which I will tell you more about momentarily. I've just been so excited to open this box because it contains a lot of the things that I'm relying on right now breastfeeding. I also think it's important to mention how well they package their items. Lately, from other places, I have been getting stuff that is cracked, leaking, destroyed, that I have to return, get a refund for. Not once have I had that issue with Thrive. Everything comes packed so well. You can tell that they really care about that. They want your stuff to arrive in one piece. But yes, I have been getting a lot of snack items, quick meal items, because that's what I've been relying on. And I know during the back to school time, it gets hectic, things get crazy. There's not a lot of time, so you need things that can come to you fast. I have to share how good this oatmeal is too, because I've been eating it every single morning. I think it helps with my supply. It's delicious, and I actually got it in a different flavor too. I'll have to find it. Here we go. I got the vanilla pecan one too, so that'll be really interesting to try. I just love Thrive Market. I think it's so convenient. Plus, they restrict over 1,000 questionable ingredients, so I always feel like I'm making a better choice when I'm eating something from Thrive Market. And I know that I do not have a kid that's in school yet, but I've already started glancing at the different snack items and things that could potentially go in a lunchbox for her or just have around the house. There are so many good options, and I know that I'll feel better choosing from Thrive. What's really fantastic is in choosing those healthy options, I'm not paying more for it. In fact, I find that Thrive Market has some of the best pricing, and so I have transitioned basically everything that I get subscription or I get frequently. I've transferred it over to Thrive just because I know I'm going to get the best deal from them. Plus, you can filter by over 90 different diets and values, which is something important on my channel. You know, I have a number of people who watch me that have to watch certain ingredients. You might be looking for certain ingredients like high protein, low sugar, organic, things like that. You can filter that on Thrive easily. It's so easy on their website to do so. I love doing it all the time. I love looking for high protein stuff. So during their back to school sale, you can get 25% off plus certain items that are fan favorites, that are top picks. I think it's a great time to go shopping. Stock up for your household, stock up for your kids, whatever you need. You have to take a look at Thrive Market because they just, I mean, gosh, I love these things. I love these things for breastfeeding. They're so good in the middle of the night. and they have the best price on it. So join Thrive Market today by going to thrivemarket.com/LetsTalkIBD. You'll get 25% off plus some of those top pick items for the back to school sale. Plus, if you order now for your first order, you'll get 30% off plus a free gift. So you got a lot coming to you if you join Thrive Market. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Thrive Market, for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for the delicious snacks that keep me going while breastfeeding Nova. Thank you again to Thrive Market for sponsoring this video. Okay, so I really went into breastfeeding with the mental goal of 12 months. I would absolutely love to go longer if I can. I really would. At the same time, we just have to see how life works out. And, you know, if I continue to maintain my supply, who knows? My hope is that we have more kids. So around that 12-month mark when, you know, my doctor said it was safe to start trying, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. I know that getting pregnant can sometimes kind of tank your supply. But I did have that goal going in of 12 months. I know that some people don't like to set a goal. They like to go in completely open-minded because you just don't know how things are going to work out, what success you're going to have or what issues you're going to have. For me, I feel like I have to set that goal or else I will give up on myself too quickly. I wish I didn't think the worst of things, but sometimes I do that. That's not a good thing. Don't do that, girlfriend. So anyways, making it to 3 months has been absolutely tremendous. But like I said earlier, there have been some bumps in the road, which I have spoken about a little bit here. I think the first thing I want to talk about is routines. The idea of a schedule sounds super nice, but I've mentioned in other videos that schedules are not realistic with a baby because you kind of determine when you're hungry. Like, I can't force you to eat, right? And you kind of decide when you want to sleep. Yeah, you get pretty cranky when you want to sleep. So making a schedule, it seems so convenient. I'm like, man, it would be so nice to know exactly what time she'll eat and sleep, but it's just not realistic. And honestly, when you put strict time limitations on things, it really makes it hard for you to get out of your regular schedule. So what I mean by that is going on adventures, like going to the aquarium like we have, or going to the zoo, because sometimes you can't control what time you're going to leave. We're seeing my brother and sister-in-law this weekend for my nephew's birthday. And, you know, they set the time of the party. I can't say, well, we have to do everything around Nova's schedule. So when I do routines, when I do patterns of what we can do, like sleeping, eating when we wake up, and then playing until we get tired and then go back to sleep, there's a little bit of fluctuation you can do with that. You can kind of manipulate the schedule a little bit. Not a ton. Again, I have to go off of her cues and stuff, but that has been really, really helpful to learn. And also, mentioning cues, right? I have been learning her cues. I thought I knew baby cues because when I was a nurse, I worked in GI. We had a lot of feeder growers, and I feel like I thought I had a good idea of what to look for in a hungry baby or a tired baby and all that, but not for her. And so the more that I've gotten to know Nova, the more I'm learning her early signs of tiredness versus her late signs of tiredness. Trying to avoid those late signs of tiredness, get ahead of the nap, because otherwise you are not happy. You are not happy at all. She's looking at me like, what are you talking about? She's furrowing her brow. Yeah, you are maybe slightly, just ever so slightly unpleasant when you're tired. So yeah, I have really been trying to learn that, and so has Zach. And we have been discussing it. We're like, oh, I think this might be a sign that she's getting tired and we need to put her down. The funny thing is, Zach constantly is like, Maggie, she's a baby. She's gonna need to sleep a lot. She's gonna need to eat a lot. Every time that I put her down for a nap, I feel like, you just woke up. Like, I want to hang out with you, but we gotta put you to sleep again. So that's been interesting. Zach is constantly like, Maggie, just put her to sleep. Don't feel bad because you're not playing with her 24/7. So that's been a good reminder, but it's been really interesting to learn her cues to better understand what I need to do for her and at what times. Our routine has changed a little bit though from, I think, the last time I shared with you. The last time I shared with you, she was actually only taking one feed overnight. I think that was at her 2-month pediatrician appointment, because I know I updated the nurse practitioner I was talking to. I said, yeah, she's eating once overnight. And it was usually around 1 to 2 a.m. That pediatrician said, you know, if you're worried about her not getting enough, she said you could always try feeding every 2 hours during the day. And honestly, Nova, she won't latch at 2 hours. Like, she needs to be hungry. So we have added on an extra feed overnight. And that seems to work out. She's actually the one waking me to do that. I really am following what she wants to do. So typically she goes to bed around 7 p.m. Sometimes that is pushing it. Sometimes you are very tired, but she goes to bed at 7 p.m. and I feed her usually between midnight and 1, and then between like 4 to 5 a.m. And then we wake up typically around 7, although today you slept till 7:45, which was amazing. And we feed when she wakes up, and from there it's like every 2.5 to 3 hours. Really, like, I was early on, I felt like I was very much looking at, okay, it's been 3 hours, we have to feed. I am less following that and more so, again, when you seem hungry, I'm going to feed you. And usually that typically falls right after her nap. Actually, I find it to be the best time for her to eat. If towards nighttime, when the routine gets a little messy, sometimes she wakes up and it's been too soon and she won't feed. So then we'll try to feed closer to bedtime and she is just too tired to eat then. So I'm trying to find that sweet spot of, we've had enough rest, but we haven't eaten too recently. So, gosh, I don't know. I guess with breastfeeding, I sort of picture like, whip it out and feed her, and there you go. She's hungry, eat. But it is all about kind of planning out, okay, is she too tired? Is she not hungry enough? The thing that I have really been struggling with, I feel like the last month or so, is worrying about her getting enough. Early on, that was not an issue. You seem to have fed at least 10 minutes. Like, I knew you were shorter than what they typically recommend. I feel like I was told 15 to 20 minutes per feed. And she was around 10 minutes. And then suddenly she just dropped the time. And I don't know if it's because I have a fast letdown, which seems to be the case. She has become more efficient at pulling milk from me. Possibly also the case. But her feeds dropped to like 5 minutes. And now sometimes I can only get her to eat 2 minutes. That causes a lot of anxiety because I'm like, oh my gosh, is she getting enough? She seems to be growing. And that, I think, is the most important telltale sign. She's also having plenty of diapers. I'm trying to constantly remind myself of that. But when you eat 2 minutes, that scares me. Like you definitely didn't get enough. It's this balance between trying not to be too anxious about something and you know, going with the flow of it. I think sometimes we will overwork ourselves, we'll pay attention too much to timing, the scale. Like, I'm guilty of that with my own health. How many calories am I getting in? Am I losing weight? Am I gaining weight? Like, I am totally guilty of that, and I don't want that to translate to her. So I'm trying to be cool, but at the same time, I got an infant scale so I can do pre and post weights because that's something I did as a baby nurse, you know? That is something that I was able to do when you get confirmation of how much your baby's eating. I just got the scale yesterday and I'm learning, okay, she's getting anywhere between 2 and 4 ounces per feed. Sometimes a little bit less than 2, but you know, somewhere between 2 and 4. Sometimes you'll eat for 2 minutes and sometimes you'll eat for 12. It's like, it's all over the place. That's the roller coaster of it. And I guess what I'm doing today is like doing a 24-hour period to see, on average, what are we eating? What are we getting? And I'm hoping that it makes me feel better. But if it doesn't, then I think what I need to do is just focus on making sure you're growing. I think that's my best bet. I don't say this like, you know, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a lactation consultant. I'm just a new mom trying to figure things out, and I don't want to like cause anxiety with anybody who might be facing breastfeeding. I just want to share the thoughts going through my mind, because it really has been, your feet are telling the story. It's been crazy. I thought we were about to have a little cry there. I think we're okay. The other thing too that I'm learning with weighing her just in this short period of weighing her is that it does seem like I have a fast letdown most of the time. She fed for 5 minutes and got 3.5 ounces, I think, and it was only, well, it was mainly one side. So that's kind of interesting. That was kind of crazy. And I have to share this, which I wasn't planning on it. So I set up my camera for the last feed that we did, and I just wanted to get a thumbnail so you could see us breastfeeding, right? Well, I took a little video clip too, because I've been taking video clips of us, you know, showing her face and stuff, just for mommy and daddy to have when you're older and we want to see little baby Nova. Well, she unlatched pretty early on in her feed, and I squirted her in the face. Yeah, you are, girl. Whoa! Oh, I'm squirting in your face. Collar. I'm sorry. You can't let go. You can't let go after you do that. Sorry, girlfriend. Oh, jeez, it's still good. Come on, girlfriend, latch. Jeez. Yeah, so my letdown's pretty good, I would say. That was funny. That was funny, right? You don't care. I've done that a few times too, where you'll unlatch. It's all over her face. One time Zach saw it too. I'm like, it's like a fire hose. Anyways, yeah. So that's kind of what's been going on. Yeah, so my letdown's pretty good, I would say. That was funny, right? You don't care. I've done that a few times too, where you'll unlatch. It's all over her face. One time Zach saw it too. I'm like, it's like a fire hose. Anyways, yeah. So that's kind of what's been going on, you know, feeding. Oh, hello. Are you joining us? Feeding every like 2.5 to 3 hours during the day, and then overnight we're doing a couple feeds. Now, when it comes to pumping, when I talk about breastfeeding, I'm talking about nursing. I've learned that there's different terms. So breastfeeding can include actually feeding from the breast, or pumping and bottle feeding. I would say, what are we doing? Like 99% nursing, because we're having a little trouble taking a bottle too. I've tried giving her, like early on, we didn't have an issue with the bottle. She could take either, and it wasn't a big deal. Then I feel like we got into the groove where I was feeding you pretty much 100% of the time. We were doing less bottle feeds because that's just how it worked out. It's just what worked out best for us. And now I feel like we're having trouble taking the bottle too, right? So now I'm trying to do at least 1 feed per day with a bottle, so that way if Zach and I want to go do something, we have a wedding coming up, my friend's getting married, I would like to be able for her to take a bottle for someone to watch her, you know? So that's something we're also working on. There's a lot of stress to this. It's crazy. But anyways, when it comes to pumping, I do occasionally pump. Now, what's been going on lately is I have been pumping once a day for the most part, if it works out. And that's usually after I put her to bed. So if you go to bed at 7 p.m., I'm typically pumping around 9 p.m., and then you're feeding around midnight to 1. And that's worked out really well. Although last night you barely ate before bedtime, so then when you started to stir around 8:30, I ran up there and breastfed her, and she ate really good. She had like 4 ounces. So, but for the most part, like bedtime is when or after bedtime is when I'm pumping. And I'm not using a 𝙗𝙗 anymore, or one of those silicone bulbs on the side she's not feeding. You okay, girlfriend? Because I just felt like I was potentially taking milk away from her. I try to feed on both sides if she'll take it. She usually doesn't. Oh, we're getting a little mad here. We're a good girlfriend. I know, honey. So I really don't use that anymore. What I've been doing is using my Spectra pump, which I have back here. And I do use the little bottles that come with the Spectra. I have, my insurance actually has been sending me replacement parts, I think monthly. I think they're sending it to me monthly, which is incredible. But I did buy the wearable cups, and that has been fantastic. So let me get this guy. I'll show you what I mean. Okay. So this is the Spectra S1 pump. I feel like it has done a great job. I know some people go through a bunch of different pumps because they're trying to figure out what empties them the best, and I feel like this just worked out really well. But with the bottles that they have, you have to like hold them to you. You can get a specific pumping bra, but I still feel like they would knock out a place. I don't know. So I was trying to figure out how can I like find a solution where I can just be hands-free with it. And it's been these little cups. This is, oh gosh, what is the brand? Does it say? It's like Fanpy? Designed by Fanpy. I hope that's how you pronounce it. And they attach right to the tubing that the Spectra comes with. Here, I'll do a close-up so you can see a little bit better. This is the cup here, and it's already got the flange inside of it, and you just hook up the tubing like this. Sorry, it's a little hard to do when I'm trying to keep y'all in focus. Okay. There we go. Can you see that? The tubing goes right into there. You don't need that little round flange piece that the Spectra kits come with because the flange is actually inside of it. And you can put your flange resizing things in there. What this is worked for me. The size that they provided seems to work really well for me. And you can stick it in your bra, and then all you have to do is carry around this if you move. Now I just have one tube on here because, okay, the only thing I don't like about these is there's a million parts that you have to take apart and wash. So I find, because I'm able to just like sit sometimes, play with her like this, I'll put one in, pump one side, and then switch it. So that way I'm having to wash a little less often. And a set of two of these was 30 something, maybe $35. I felt like it was really worth it, especially when I was doing overnight pumps. Like sometimes she doesn't feed fully overnight and I feel engorged. That actually happened last night too. So putting this in my bra and just being able to like doze a little bit, I'm pretty sure that this has a cutoff for how long. Like if I fell asleep, I'm pretty sure this cuts off after a little bit. So you're not like destroying your breast with over pumping. But yeah, I don't have to like hold it against me while I'm so tired. So that's worked out really well. I think this has been great. So that's what I'm doing pumping wise. But we're really not pumping super often, right? It's just if I feel engorged and you won't feed, and then sometimes that nighttime feed. That's been good. That's been good. And I apologize. There is a fly that I cannot catch, and it keeps flying in and out of the camera view. So if you see the fly, you know, I've tried to get rid of him, but he's very stubborn. Yeah, I feel lucky that I don't have issues with pumping or being able to get out milk. There has been absolutely no issue with that, and I'm really proud of my body for being able to create milk. Oh, let me get this guy back up here. I feel like this is a good display in the background of my breastfeeding video. Yeah, so what else can I talk about? Really, I'm going to sound really corny saying this, but the miracle of my body producing milk to grow a human, when I have been so used to my body not doing what it needs to do, I mean, that wonder has continued. And breastfeeding has made me appreciate the human body so much more than I ever did, because just my whole life I've been like, the body sucks. Like, mine doesn't work. It's annoying. Everything goes wrong. And now suddenly there's this function of the body that has worked out really well for me. I'm producing milk and I'm growing my baby. You know, I was able to grow you through pregnancy, and just seeing that continue and being able to continue that, so cool. So cool. It's really made me think, wow, the body is super cool. You've been awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I talk about this. This is probably boring for you. I know, we'll get some tummy time in. Yeah, go work out, girlfriend. It's been a trip. It really has been a trip. But I am so grateful to be able to do it too. Like, everyone's experience is different, and I think that when it comes right down to it, the most important thing is that your baby's growing, right? So however you can feed them, great. I really love the benefits of breastfeeding, and I feel like I'm learning new benefits every day. I love the bond that it has made me feel. They talked about it. You know, I heard about it when I was pregnant and beforehand, but I didn't experience it. And now, oh, you all right, girlie? Now that I have experienced it, you just spit that right back out. Now that I have experienced it, I love breastfeeding, and I'm so glad that I have the ability to do so and the convenience to do so. I know that I am so fortunate that I'm home with her all day, all night. I can do primarily nursing. I think that that is so awesome. I'm so grateful to be able to do that. There's a mental load, an emotional load, a physical load that breastfeeding carries, and just depending on your own barriers, it may or may not work out. I'm really grateful that there haven't been barriers in the way, at least thus far, that have stopped us from doing this. I love it. I love breastfeeding. I think it's just so cool. I feel so close to you. Even when Zach feeds her a bottle, I'm like, ugh. But I want him to have that bond too, and it's sort of funny. When I was pregnant, I asked Zach, do you feel like you're missing out because I'm the one that gets to carry her and I get to feel her kicks and stuff and I get to experience this and you don't? Does that make you sad? And he was like, no, I don't know. I guess it's different for him. I don't know. But he was like, maybe a little bit. It would be cool to understand that. But the same kind of goes for breastfeeding. I wonder, does he feel like he's missing out on that bond with her? I don't think so, because I think there's so many different ways that he can bond with her beyond feeding. I think for, even moms who are not nursing, there are 1.5 million different things you can do to bond with your baby, but this is one of my favorite, personally. It is one of my favorite. I'm so glad we get to do it. It's really cool, isn't it? I think you like it too. I feel like you seem to prefer it. Anyways, guys, that's my 3-month update on breastfeeding. How cool. I feel like I need to celebrate. We've made it this far. Hopefully we'll come back and I'll be able to continue updating you on how it goes, because I hope we can continue. Thank you again to Thrive Market for sponsoring this video. Make sure to check them out, thrivemarket.com/LetsTalkIBD. By going to that link, you can get 30% off of your first order plus a free gift. And you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of that back to school sale. How is it back to school already? Man. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you are breastfeeding. Let me know how that's going for you, and we'll see you in the next. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you are looking for a way to help support my channel, consider liking this video or even subscribing. You can also check out my store at LetsTalkIBD.shop. I have stickers and hoodies like these guys over here, just related to chronic illness and inflammatory bowel disease, something fun. And I also have a coupon code for my YouTube watchers. You could also become a member of my channel, like the wonderful people scrolling on screen here. They've become a member and they have access to videos a little bit earlier. It's a great way to support my channel, and really, just watching my videos means the world. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next.